will no longer tolerate illegal immigration.
3 weeks later.
Under this president, you will be detained and you will be deported.
Meanwhile.
Yes! Mr. Trump! We love you!
You probably read about Colombia 2 days ago. They said, no, we're not taking them. I said, we're going to take them. You're going to take them. You're going to like it too.
24 hours later.
When President Trump swiftly directed his team to issue harsh and effective sanctions and tariffs on the Colombian government, upon hearing they were denied a U.S. military aircraft full of their own citizens who were deported by this administration. Within hours, the Colombian government agreed to all of President Trump's demands, proving America is once again respected on the world stage.
We love you! On the way to the White House!
I swear to you, I think she's totally beautiful and great. I never met her before, I swear.
So, to foreign nationals who are thinking about trying to illegally enter the United States, think again.
We love you!
Latinos of all backgrounds. Do y'all not realize black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well, that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some "we will vote for Donald Trump." And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning like some monkeys in a zoo? No, sir, bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
Oh my goodness. So first things first, let me start off by saying this. I spoke with all black people on the planet, well, specifically in the US, all right, with Council of Negroids, and I'm gonna be bold and speak on their behalf and say, we have nothing to do with ICE, okay? We have nothing to do with this whole ICE situation that's going on. We have nothing to do with the deportations, and we don't care. Damn. And I don't mean that in any type of mean or, malicious manner. I'm just saying we don't care. My name's Bennett and I ain't in it. We have nothing to do with this. And I've noticed there are a lot of goofy clowns are trying to put black people in the fray of this. And no, we have nothing to do with it. Black Americans have nothing to do with what's going on in ICE. We have no dog in this fight. It just is what it is, all right? Y'all get deported, y'all get deported. I don't know what to tell you. But we are not going to be protesting. We're not going to be looting. We're not going to be rioting. Whatever is happening right now, we have nothing to do with it. Now, what I do find hilarious is that we have the goofies who are trying to say that, oh, they're coming for you next. Oh, you got to be careful because they're coming for y'all next. You have to understand. Now, riddle me this, Batman. In order for you to say that they're coming for us next, that would imply that we haven't been attacked yet. That's what that would imply, okay? That we have gone this entire time without being attacked. And if that's what you believe, perhaps you should sit this one out, boo-boo. Perhaps you should sit your little self on the corner and, I don't know, do whatever you got to do. Sell your fruits, go to school, whatever it is, okay? But this conversation regarding black people, maybe you should definitely sit this one out because you are aggressively ignorant.
Wake up, nigga.
Of the history of this country and even presently today. We were the first ones. We were the guinea pigs for their hatred. I don't know if you happen to know this. So when you try to say that, oh, we're next, pimping, we've been here. we were number one in line when it comes to their hatred and, you know, their vicious tactics and whatnot. Okay, their inhumanity towards people.
To this day.
We were the first ones. And so this whole next part, it didn't stop with us, bro. They just included y'all. That's the only difference. They still are going for us. That has never changed, and that will never change because of the wickedness of some of these people's hearts. It just is what it is. Okay, that's why I say it's a lineage of evil. So when y'all say, oh, they coming for us next, pimping. If they were, right? If they were down or triple down, quadruple down on their hatred, bro, we gonna handle it. Just like our ancestors handle it, just like we handle it, and just like we'll handle it in the future. It just is what it is. So don't try and fear-monger black Americans, talk about, oh, they're gonna deport you next, or they're gonna do this. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. How about that? Okay, in the meantime, between time, essay, I suggest you should be worrying about you. That's what I think, okay? Nevertheless, having said that, I just wanted to clarify that. Having said that, no ill will, but there is this woman who started a campaign called Latinos for Trump.
Hi, I'm Liliana Garcia, and I founded Latinos for Trump on the premise of how important it was for me to convey to the rest of the world that there are a lot of Latinos and Latinas supporting Donald J. Trump.
They are being starved. They are thirsty, only given 1 cup of water per day, are denied bathroom privileges, are denied medical attention. People in ICE concentration camps are losing their lives. And don't even think about saying FAFO, fuck around and find out, to these people in ICE detention centers. It is a shame that members of the black community started the trend, and so many other people followed. This is an updated voting poll. Brown people voted for Kamala Harris more. But you fall for the colonizers' divisive tactics, the inaccurate voting polls, the initial propaganda. It is immature and immoral to be centering that type of behavior in response to a community that is being mass deported, imprisoned in concentration camps, and tossed out of the country to who knows where without any rights or contact to any lawyer or family. When we should be focused on solidarity, and this has to stop immediately, especially those of you who claim to be activists perpetuating this FAFOBS nonsense.
Shouts out to Aaliyah, because this is where it was on her page when I first saw this lady, this Mexican lady. And then I went to her page and she doubled down and literally said that they helped us during the Civil War, which is a lie. And the Mexicans helped free the slaves. First of all, Mexico has slavery themselves that wasn't abolished until 1829 or 1830 or something, somewhere around there. And the president that abolished slavery in Mexico was Afro-Indigenous. I don't know why they keep leaving that part out. He looked more like a negro than he looked like. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And when we were down there, we was fighting beside them. We was helping to protect their borders. They conveniently leave that out. All this civil rights, nobody that was not fighting with us for civil rights is a lie and a scam, not as a collective. And they know a lot of them are anti-black. It is so crazy that they keep blaming us. First of all, we've been saying fuck around and found out, just like we've been saying a whole bunch of other shit that they co-opt and steal and turn into something else. Fuck around and found out never really had no political meaning. That's just how black people talk. Bitch, fuck around and find out. That's how we talk. Why do they keep blaming us and censoring us when we are not the ones that's putting them in concentration camps? We do not yield, nor do we hold the power to deport them. They are focusing on the wrong people. Why y'all not mad at MAGA? Why y'all not sticking it to the white man? I mean, we just got to call it a spade a spade. It's so weird that the Mexican and the Latino community keeps coming for black people. It's because we're not putting our bodies, we're not sacrificing our bodies and going and running out and standing on the front lines. Is that what it is? Why they got so much animosity toward us like we're the ones that's doing this to them? We're not inflicting any pain on you. And as per Aaliyah's video, because I never saw that initial video, she played a video of a bullhead clear guy coining fuck around and find out for political purposes. Once again, stealing our shit, renaming, reclassifying it, giving it a different meaning. We're not making fun of y'all like that. We really ain't. We don't give a... It's unfortunate, but stop blaming. You're pointing, you're...
Who are our Latino immigrants taking from in this country? That's my big question. Are they taking your job personally? Is anybody, any American being affected by this? Because, you know, here in California, we're actually seeing people, family, friends we know being affected by this. And I just want to know, how is this affecting you? And why are we only targeting Latino immigrants? There's Asian immigrants, black immigrants, white immigrants, European, dare I say, you know, people from Russia, from Poland, from UK. I mean, they're all over. So why are we only seeing that violent criminals are Latinos, Venezuelans specifically? And let me ask you a question. Do you think any average American can tell the difference between a Venezuelan or a Mexican or an El Salvadorian or a Brazilian or a Colombian?
So Latinos are blaming black people for them getting deported, saying we are not standing up for them? This says, but why isn't my black community standing up for you like us Latinos did for BLM? We stood up for you in the voting booth, where it counted, where it mattered. 92% of black women voted against this situation. 80% of black men voted against this situation. And you got the nerve and the audacity when you go and look at the numbers for Latino men and women, how they voted. And I promise you, they didn't vote nowhere near the levels we voted. And now you have the nerve and the audacity to blame us. You got the nerve to be coming at black women in the community. You got the nerve. We told you. There were multiple black creators that told you guys that it wasn't just illegals that were going to get deported who had criminal records. You thought they wasn't going to come for my husband, son, daughter, Abuelita, Tio, because they haven't committed any crimes. They just over here living a carefree, safe, non-criminal life. They snatching y'all up too. And we told you that they would, and you did not believe us. And you made a bad decision. So wear it. Suffer in silence. Wear it. Do not blame anybody else. Look at your own community around you. And the rights that you do have. We were the ones. Our ancestors paid for those rights. The 1965 Civil Rights Act. We paid for those. Dogs were let loose on us. We were unalived. We were imprisoned. We went through Jim Crow where we couldn't even eat or go to the same movie theater or the bathroom or drink out of the same water fountain. We went through chattel slavery for hundreds of years, but this is our fault? How dare you? And I have love for Latino men and women. I have love for that community. Lots of friends. Lots of people I've done business with. But don't you dare come at us in this community when we told you what was going to happen. Suffer in silence. Wait another 2 years, vote in the midterms, and then wait another 4 years and vote right in the next election. But how dare you blame us?
The way that the Latino community is being terrorized and hunted down is frankly inhumane. And it is unacceptable and absolutely disgusting. It makes me disgusted on a daily basis that Marco Rubio, who represented an immigrant community, is out there being part of this, an active participant and accomplice in this horrible, horrible time. I'm going to tell you something. We're going to be reading about this time like we read today about the Japanese internment camps.
Yeah.
It's a dark, dark time in history. And yesterday, I was at I'll let you talk at some point.
No, there's no rush.
I was at, I've been talking a lot and I've been seeing, a lot of Latino heavyweights lately. And I have said to them, we all got to lose the fear of speaking up because we have a responsibility. Those of us who have status, those of us who have a platform, we have a responsibility to speak up for those who are being terrorized that can't speak because they are legitimately and for good reason afraid. So, at this point, fear is not an option at this point. Because the only way this changes, I have said this before, is if those cowardly Congress people are more of...
I'm truly at a loss for words. A Latino man told CNN that he voted for Donald Trump, but thinks it would be unfair if Trump deported millions of people like he's promised to. Just take a look.
If they let in hundreds or thousands of people who already have criminal records, if deporting them creates a mass deportation, I'm all for it.
But what if rounded up in all of that are people who work on a farm, doing the jobs that Americans don't want to do? Does that worry you?
That wouldn't be fair. Of course, they need to make sure that they don't throw away, they don't kick out, they don't deport people that are family oriented.
Now look, I gotta be honest. I could dunk on this guy and try to debunk him and things like that, but this clip actually makes me pretty sad. Because it's clear that this guy, along with many other people that voted for Donald Trump, have no idea what's about to happen. And what's about to happen is that Donald Trump is going to do everything in his power to deport millions of people. Even if you just overstayed your green card, you've been here for 20 years, you're working a job, you have a family here, your kid goes to school here. Donald Trump is coming after those people too, whether guys like this think it's fair or not. And also, this is no secret. Donald Trump has been telling us he was going to do this for quite some time. He's vowed to deport millions of undocumented migrants and said that it has no price tag. So I agree that it's unfair. It's tragic what Donald Trump is going to do to millions of folks. But unfortunately, people like that guy voted for Trump. They think it's unfair, and yet they ignored his warnings anyway. And now we're stuck with Trump for 4 years.
You want America to be 99% white.
Probably say realistically we could get to like 75. I think we need to like deport a lot of people to, actually have that. I think we just need to deport people.
Here's the problem though. It's like, okay, we deport people, but
Yeah.
what does that solve?
Can I ask you a real quick question, just like out of
Yeah.
curiosity? What historical precedent do you have for mass deportations generating a net economic gain in the United States?
Well, I don't think, like I said, I don't think GDP is everything. I would say culture.
I'm not just saying GDP, I'm just saying gain of any kind.
Wages actually meant more in 1965 before the Hart-Celler Act, so I guess I would reflect
Do you think
to
that was because of mass deportation?
No, it was because it was pretty much all white people here, and, they weren't over here yet.
Do you know why wages were so competitive in the 1960s?
Because America actually built stuff.
Do you know why America actually built stuff back then?
Because we had all the factories and
Yes, because we had one of the few countries that wasn't completely bombed out infrastructure-wise
Yeah.
after World War II, which made it incredibly easy for the United States to maintain a lead over other countries until after the Marshall Plan reached its fruition, and then suddenly you have the 1980s where a bunch of people are freaking out over Japan potentially surpassing the United States. Right now it's China. They're concerned about China surpassing the United States.
because we opened our doors to China. Pretty sure
That's-
Nixon was the one who did
That's
that.
everything. My question to you is, when in American history has mass deportations been a net positive for the country?
When has mass immigration been a net positive for the country?
Throughout
in
the
history?
entire United States history.
Yeah, but it depends where these immigrants
It wouldn't
are
be
from.
America
That's the
without
thing.
immigration.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be America, but those immigrants, they were mainly, Germans and WASPs that were coming over.
Are you forgetting the
see
people who were brought
Celts.
over in the slave trade? Those are immigrants too.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not saying black people are essential to American culture. Black people have, been in America since America was founded. But I would say
But you want America to be 99% white. Is what
Well,
you're
I'm
saying.
mainly
I would probably
asking-
say realistically we could get to like 75.
I'm mainly
I think we could get
asking,
to
when
75,
has mass
like 80.
deportations been a net positive in American history?
We've never had to do mass deportations because we
That
never
is
had
a
50
complete lie.
million
We did
people come
mass
over.
deportations during Mexican repatriation in the 1930s. There's the Indian Removal
but it was
Act
a
of
lot less
1830.
people. It was
There's
a lot
also
less people.
Operation WB in the 1940s. There were the Palmer raids against Italian Americans in the 1920s. Mass deportations are very much a
But
thing in the United
it wasn't as much. It was
How do you know that for sure? How many people were
because
deported
I
in
mean,
Mexican
how many
repatriation?
people were in the Mexican appreciation? I don't know. I mean,
So how many people would you like to see deported, and from who?
probably
Obviously, you want all the Somalis deported.
Probably yes, all the Somalians,
Even if they're
Probably-
American.
even if they're citizens. Yes, I would probably say about 20 million, realistically, 20 to 30 million.
So if
There's
you
only
deported
11
20 to 30 million.
undocumented immigrants in the United
I
States.
know.
So you're
I think
advocating
we
for
need to I think we need to denaturalize some people.
And how do you
I think
do
I
that
think
without
that-
impeding
yeah, okay,
upon
so-
people's civil rights?
Past like 10 to 20 years, I'd say that could be our framework. Have you committed a crime? Are you net positive or net negative on the taxpayer system? Have you acclimated to American society? And I think we
How,
can do
in
that.
how
I
is
think
that
we
in
could have
any
a
sense
system.
an ethical policy? How is that not going to be exploited? Like,
Wouldn't that
you're gonna
also
have
apply to every white person?
I mean,
If a
most
white
people have
person
been here.
commits a crime, should they be denaturalized and sent back to Germany or England?
I mean, I think on average, should a white person be deported if they committed a crime?
Well, yes, that's the
Yeah,
question.
should they be same
I mean, no,
standard?
they should
You're
go to
holding
jail
the
'cause, I
standard
mean,
towards
their family's been here long.
So
Their
why are you
family's been here.
attaching a
You're-
different sense of judgment towards people based off of their race?
It's not. It's not like just, I mean, if someone from Sweden committed a crime within the past 5-10 years, they would have to go back as well.
What if I gathered up 5 women and said that you raped all 5 of them, and then you need to be denaturalized and sent to another country? How do you respond to that in a legal and ethical sense without having your civil rights impeded?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
I'm not saying that you wouldn't. I'm not saying that you would do that. I'm saying that what if I use the legal system in order to denaturalize you, take you out of the country, and then seize your property and your business if you had one?
That's a very extreme hypothetical.
That is
I don't think
exactly
that happened.
what
But
happens
yeah.
when you deal with mass deportations. What do you think happened during Japanese internment? What do you think happened to all those Japanese businesses?
I don't think Japanese. I mean, it's always easier to reflect, after the thing has happened.
These people were given 24 to 48 hours notice, and then they had their business and property seized. Okay,
Yeah,
it was wrong in the moment, and we knew it was wrong in the moment.
Yeah. So wait, what are you arguing?
I'm arguing, how do you have a system like that in place that isn't going to be exploited? What if I just gather enough people
Well, it
to
might
say
be
that you're
exploited, but
guilty of a crime?
it might be exploited, but it just kind of has to happen.
Why does it
I mean,
have to happen?
no one.
Again, you're advocating for a legal system that would void your rights simply based off of what?
It just kind of needs to happen. I mean, that's
Why?
like
Why does this need to
extreme.
happen?
Because America is being replaced, Canada is being replaced, England's
How
being
is
replaced.
America
let me
being
ask you this
replaced?
question.
You're having a different sense of judgment based off of people's race, which is already unethical, and then you're claiming that this has to happen, but you haven't provided a substantial reason as to why. There's no historical precedent for mass deportation actually helping the people of America in general.
Yeah, because we've never had 50 million immigrants in the country. I mean, we live in such a time that's different from all
But the
eras of
country
history.
is immigrants. What you're saying is that because it was white immigrants, it's okay. But if it's black or brown or somebody that's
Black
not
people.
a
I'm
Christian,
not deporting black people. Black people have been in America for, I'm pretty sure, longer
under the
than my
system that
family's
you
been in America.
propose, that would also make Africans vulnerable to being denaturalized and deported.
No, it wouldn't, because black people are essential. Black people have been in America. That's different. West Africans have been in America since America.
Are you sure that a legal system won't be disproportionately negative towards people who are of African descent? Again,
I mean, the Germans
what
were
point
very
did
tribal.
mass
pagans.
deportations work? I need you to provide at least one historical precedent for that actually.
One
being
is because it's never had to happen. We've
has
never had
happened.
to do this.
Let me give you a perfect historical. Let me give you a perfect historical example of that.
When have we deported 20 million people?
It's estimated between 300,000 to 2 million Mexicans and Mexican Americans were deported from the United States, often without cause, from 1929 to 1939. And would you say that was a negative or positive for the United States?
I'd say it's a positive.
Okay, then why is it that the United States needed those laborers again, so they instituted the Bracero program only a few years after that?
I'm not familiar with the Bracero program.
That's exactly what I'm speaking on, because if you don't have any historical
I don't have a
precedent,
problem with Mexicans. I really don't. Good food.
I didn't
they have
say that.
family
I
values.
didn't say that. But you said that you need to have mass deportation, but you've got zero historical precedents for this. And you argue
We've never had this many people in the country.
But as a proportion of the population,
when have you needed Indians to work American jobs? When have you needed Somalians in Minnesota? I mean, the list goes on.
As a proportion to the United States population, 2 million Mexican and Mexican Americans in 1929 to 1939. So that is a fairly, adaptable model to see what happens when we remove that many people from the country. And there are multiple other instances. The Indian Removal Act. Would you support the Indian Removal Act in retrospect?
I don't know. It's a tough question. Indian reservations, I don't know if you've ever drove through them, but they're kind of rough areas.
Why is that? Because
the United States government has been robbing them since the United States was formed.
But they didn't build anything. What did we rob them of?
No, that's completely false.
Their
that
land,
is
their lives,
false.
their childhood, their women. Read the book, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee.
Do you know why they passed the Indian Removal Act?
No, I do not. Andrew,
It's because they wanted access to Native American gold mines. Okay, they wanted access to Native American businesses. Mind you, that the people that they were removing were assimilating into American culture. They were doing everything that you're asking them to do. They were assimilating into American culture. They were running businesses. Instead of fighting this outright, aside from the Seminoles in Florida, most of the people who were subject to being
commenting about the Ukrainians, and they were saying, yeah, but these people are literally, if they go back there, they could die and stuff. We could die as well. I told them that my father wasn't alive and we had to escape, and they were laughing about it. We were saying, yeah, well, we all have problems, but they were defending the white people. And what I'm trying to say is like we don't want you to defend us. You don't have to defend us. It's okay. You guys have your own problems. I'm just telling you about history, what happened, how Mexicans helped the black slaves, how a lot of Mexicans got killed as well, saving them, how we have always stand.
So now that Trump is doing like the mass deportation, this Mexican woman, and I've seen a few other Mexicans saying that black people needed to help them and stand in solidarity with them. This is not our fight. And she's talking about how the Mexicans helped the black slaves and how they were killed and on the front lines. First of all, we don't even have to go back in history. We already have a lot of issues in our community that we have to face daily and that we're marching for, going to Congress about, trying to get bills passed. We don't have any allies. So we don't even got to talk about slavery. What about now? I don't see the Mexican community rallying behind black people. I just don't see it, not by the droves. I'm not going to say on an individual level and on an individual basis, there are some of you that may, help. But this is not our fight. Don't. You see how they come and recruit us when they need help and when they need numbers? But when we need help and when we need numbers, we're just another nigga on the street. Like, come on, they a lot of these Latinos, they be racist too. Okay? I've been to Mexico and I've seen Mexicans that were dark as me. They don't get the representation in the media. We only see the lighter complected ones. Colorism is rampant over there too. We could go deep, but black people, stand down. I mean, if you
just give us immigration reform and don't treat us like dirt. It's not that hard. We're not asking for much. If anything, this is going to help the economy. And we're not asking for you to kiss the ground that we walk on. Just treat us with a little bit of decency. Just a little bit. It's not that hard. I promise you.
Bro, you came here illegally, so you're getting sent back. Like, I'm not really understanding where I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, it's the law. Like, what? Am I missing something? Like, we also can't do that. We can't go to other countries illegally and just pop up and start working and all of that without things in order, without abiding by their laws. And to be honest, it's a much worse punishment if we end up doing that. I feel like America is being generous. Y'all are getting caught and then being sent by a plane or sent by a bus back home. That's pretty generous if you ask me. Like, if I go to Russia and try to pull that off, I might not come home. They might lock me up for 50 years for trespassing. Like, I'm confused. The media is trying to make us feel bad. And they're like, oh, this person was 15 years old. He was a hard-working boy. He was in high school, blah, blah, blah. And he was an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. Bro, you lost me. You lost me. He's illegal. So I'm sorry. Like, that's just what happens. I can't feel bad no more. Everything you said before that is disregarded. I'm sorry.
Latinos of all backgrounds. Do y'all not realize black people are not the only people in this country? You got your Chinese Americans, your Japanese Americans, your Korean Americans, your Indian Americans, your Muslim Americans, your white Americans, and your own people. So why in Davy Jones' locker are y'all so pressed and mad at us because we not out protesting? Folks, we did the most effective protesting last November, and the data proves it. We protested when it mattered the most. We were not out here with whole productions talking about some we will vote for Donald Trump. Y'all was out here with that foolishness, knowing full well, that y'all had a few abuelas, a few tios, tias, mijo, and mijas in your house undocumented. But y'all got y'all behinds on stage talking about some we will vote for Donald Trump. And you think we supposed to be out here protesting, picket fence in hand, clowning like some monkeys in a zoo? No, sir, bop. We did what we were supposed to do. And y'all put y'all's own community in the position that it's in now. And y'all need to live with it.
Okay, this question is for anybody who is Mexican American, Chicano, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, however you identify, it's all the same to me. Doesn't matter. So if you're within that community or if you're just watching, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Okay, I'm about to ask you a question. You let me know your honest, truthful opinion. Okay, my question is very straightforward. Don't make it complicated. Don't go over the top. Answer is yes or no. If you want to explain after yes or no, that's fine. But first answer with yes or no. And my question is this. If all of the migrant workers are deported, would you, your family, or any of your friends sign up to take their jobs? For example, such jobs as becoming farm workers, day labor.
Where are you guys? Why are we alone? We support everything when it comes to you guys. We are always there for you. And this is why we Latinos are just different.
Very different, because 60% of black folks will never vote against their own community. Don't you see how one moment had you sitting here rubbing your hair talking about we so different? No, you're not. And now you're just realizing you're not different. You're a nigga with a silk press. What's happening with Latinos is horrible, but there are a few things that we need to point out. First, black people stood 10 toes down for you. We put our hand out for you. And more than half of your community said nope and closed the door on their own people because they thought they had safe citizenship in this country. Porque este malditos es unos lambonos para este país. And they did not care what happened to the rest of their community. And for two, the same people that voted against you are now quiet, standing next to you marching, talking about we're family. Black people know a scam when we see it. And we know the same people that voted against you, they're still in that crowd. And Latinos are finding time to make videos saying, black people, what's going on? Other people, what's going on? And they're not addressing that more than 60% of their community voted against them and closed the door on their own people. And now that white folks turned on them, they're acting like they had no clue. That is terrifying to have in your community. Before you enlist any help, one thing. Primero, busca los lambones en su comunidad. You need to look for the lambonos in your community first. Because I don't know who they are, but you got a bunch of traitors marching next to you. So you need to start to question people. Because as vocal as they were on turning on everybody else, they need to be vocal right now. And I want to see more videos.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop. And we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-Blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-Blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this. And the reason why is what we all have in common. We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop pointing the finger in both communities and make the decision that we are going to choose to be united versus divided. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but here are examples of how you can show up differently and be the change you want to see. Number one, share stories of solidarity. Share stories of love. Share stories of when you have experienced the Black or Latino community showing up in your spaces. We need to shift the narrative. Number two, if your reality is division between the Black and Latino community and your goal is unity, then it is up to you to seek out examples of when the Latino and Black communities show up for one another, where they show love, where there is actual solidarity, because guess what? It exists. And if you need a place to start with me. I am happy to be a part of your network of Latinos who have nothing but love for our Black sisters and brothers. Number three, ask your neighbors how you can be helpful. You need to lead with your heart in this moment. That is
Latinos in the United States have not earned the support of Black people for us to be demanding, oh yeah, why aren't they coming out to protest with us? Why aren't they engaging in activism with us? Because we haven't earned it at all, in the slightest. Or did you guys forget that 46% of all eligible Latino voters voted for Donald Trump in the 2024 presidential election? Or how about the fact that racism, anti-Blackness, colorism, all of these things are still very much pervasive in our communities? Bro, Latinos haven't even reconciled with the fact that they can't use the N-word unless they're also Black themselves, because Afro-Latinos exist. Oh, and if we're talking about Miami, oof, you'll see the whitest MAGA Latinos be like, bro, but I grew up in the hood. I grew up around Black people. In Overtown or in Liberty City, I could say it, bro. No one's going to stop me from saying it. It's my right. I'm not racist. I have a Black friend. We haven't even gotten over that. And we want Black people to go to protests with us, to engage in activism with us, putting their lives, their freedom, their bodies on the line? No. I completely understand any Black person that wants to just disengage, disregard us. I get it, guys. I really, really do. And we, as Latinos, as a collective, should not be harboring resentment against Black people, criticizing them, getting angry at them, questioning them. No. Because we've earned this. They are completely justified in feeling the way they feel and doing what they're doing. Now, I would like to give a message to the Black folks watching this video. You are completely justified in your feelings and in doing what you're doing, and I respect it. But please remember that black folks are also being affected by this persecution of undocumented migrants. And I feel like that's not talked about enough either. Here, Miami, Florida is the best example. Haitians, Jamaicans, Bahamians, Afro-Cubans, Afro-Hondurans, Garifunas, black people from all over Latin America and all over the world, Africans, just so many black people that are also undocumented that are really being affected by the persecution of this administration. And of course, much like any other entity in space, black folks in immigration detention centers, in the immigration system, are treated worse than their white, Latino, Asian counterparts. So it's really important to acknowledge that and just let you guys know. But yeah, Latinos, we need to tighten up. If you guys want the support of the black community, then earn it. Demonstrate that we can solve these issues of racism in our own communities, and please stop saying the N-word. If you're not black, don't say the N-word. It's really simple, actually.
Hello, dear brothers and sisters, and I hope you are doing fine from wherever you're watching this from. Now, my name is Dev KE, and this is Real Talk Black. Now, over the past few years, we've seen the difference or the rift between the Latino community and the black Americans. And it is true that there is a lot of anti-blackness in the Asian communities, in the Latino communities, and how they relate with black Americans. And over the past few months, we've seen black Americans reacting to them boycotting the Asian stores, especially after the acquittal of Rick Shaw in his case against Carmack Belton. And we all know how that story ended. And black Americans are saying that they are no longer going to support businesses that do not respect them, that they are no longer going to fight for people, for communities that do not reciprocate that. And it is true, when we saw black Americans marching during the BLM movement, we did not see many of these folks coming out to express their frustration or support or stand in solidarity with the black Americans, you know. And recently we have seen a surge in the number of the Latina community saying that they want black Americans to be deported to. Especially, we know what happened last year and earlier on this year with DJT trying to crack down on the Latina community, and they were greatly affected by the mass deportation. Now, what is worrying is that black Americans did really warn them against electing DJT into office, but still they went ahead and voted against their own interest. Now they are all over the internet saying that they want black Americans to be deported to, you know, something that cannot happen. We know, going by the 14th Amendment, that black Americans were also given equal rights as American citizens, and they are foundational to America, and therefore the deportation laws do not apply to them. That is something that these immigrant communities have not really gotten into their head. And I think it's time they get to know that black Americans cannot be deported back to any other country. They've been in America for generations, up to the 13th generation, from their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and all their family. That is where they've known. Maybe if you say you want to deport them back to California, Arkansas, all these other states, then it could make sense. But saying that they want them to be deported back to any other part of Africa, then it is wrong, because they are protected by 14th Amendment, and they are indigenous to the land, they are native, and they deserve all the rights and privileges that all the Americans have. We know that there is a lot going on in America, and black Americans have not been having it easy. They've had to fight for their freedom from slavery. They've had to fight systemic racism. They've had to fight segregation. They've had to fight redlining and all these other forms of unfair treatment. And therefore, these people need to give them credit for that. But anytime black Americans fight for these things, all the other communities become beneficiaries, but they themselves, black Americans, do not get to benefit from these struggles. You know, that is why this time they're saying that they're sitting this one out. They're sitting on their hands, staying at home, minding their own businesses, drinking their water, and letting all these other people fight their own battles. And I think that is just the right thing to do, you know. I think it's a good decision for blacks to stay at home, and I think it explains why most of this Latino community are calling for deportation of black folks, because they no longer see black people on the streets. They no longer see black people being irritated, so they are trying to rage bait black people to get on the streets and help them fight this government. We know the economic situation is not favorable for everybody, but that has been the reality of black Americans for the longest time. They've had to deal with that. They've had to survive, adapt, and move with different economic situations. And that is why they're saying they're sitting this one out. They're staying at home, minding their business. And I think it is frustrating most people. They are mad about that, and they do not want to accept that. It is time they take responsibilities for the choices they made at the ballot. And I think get used to the fact that black Americans are indeed foundational to America, and they cannot be deported to any other part of the world. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comment section. And if you're watching me for the first time, please take a minute to give the video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.